Good morning po. Is my audio clear po? Clear
Yes,
naman po.
ma'am. Loud and
Thank
clear.
you. Thank you very much. So it is a great opportunity to speak uh, with these participants from different regions. So I just want to share with you some of my know-how on inclusive education and in universal design of learning, especially now that we have a new trend in the Department of Education. We have to be very knowledgeable on inclusive education and UDL strategies. So let me start. Okay. So what are the objectives of our training? So we will have the policy frameworks, wherein we will identify key national policies, including RA 11650 and DepEd Order number 44, to understand the legal foundations of inclusive education. Then we have UDL integration, wherein we will identify universal design for learning strategies and improve existing lesson plans using inclusive principles and digital tools. Then practical application, explain effective policy application in classroom settings and write specific SMART goals tailored for diverse learner needs. And then we have IEP implementation, define specific stakeholder roles in IEP implementation to ensure collaborative support for students with additional learning requirements. So yesterday you have discussed IEP. So it is connected itong dalawang ito. So I think mas madali ang processing natin. So next please. So let us first have inclusive education. What then is inclusive education? So inclusive education ensures all learners enjoy meaningful participation in quality education, utilizing UDL as a proactive approach to reduce learning barriers from the start. And then we have here the key concepts. We have the definition of inclusive education, focusing on equity for all learners, facilitating meaningful participation within quality educational settings, and designing lessons proactively to eliminate barriers through UDL. So the implementation of inclusive education, it requires schools to provide learning environments that accommodate the varied needs, strengths, interests, and abilities of all learners. Learners enter classrooms with different levels of readiness, language abilities, learning styles, social experiences, and support needs. When instruction is designed for only one average learner, some learners may struggle to access lessons, participate meaningfully, or demonstrate understanding. So dito na pumapasok si UDL. Universal Design for Learning offers a proactive approach rather than waiting until a learner encounters difficulty. Teachers plan flexible instruction, learning materials, classroom activities, and assessments from the beginning. Research in inclusive education consistently show that learners' participation increases when lessons offer multiple ways of engagement, understanding, and responding. So ang key focus natin dito is mandating a curriculum and assessment focus that actively responds to diverse needs and ensure quality or equitable learning opportunities for all. So responds to the diverse needs and ensures equitable learning opportunities for all. Anong ibig sabihin niya? Diverse needs, sabi, we uh we advocate by this time we advocate inclusive education, pero sinasabi pa rin na paano siya naging inclusive if merong ito, I have heard or someone asked me before, paano siya naging inclusive if merong non-graded? Hindi na siya inclusive because you separate them from the other group. It is a case-to-case basis. Especially, ako po, I am handling as non-graded special needs education class because my learners cases were severe to profound. So, looking at their situation, their exceptionalities, their disabilities, it would be difficult for them na ihalo doon sa regular, i-mainstream. Kaya sabi, paano naging inclusive yun, ma'am? Hiniwalay nyo siya eh. Because, ah, hindi talaga siya kaya. Hindi siya kayang i-mainstream. So, even though nakabukod, non-graded siya, still, they are given the equal opportunities to learn. Depende doon sa kakayahan ng bata. So, that is designing a learning strategy for these types of learners. So, we come now to depth of order number 44. So, what is the scope of inclusive service delivery? So, this policy provides comprehensive guidance for delivering essential services within inclusive settings to ensure all learners are effectively integrated. Needs and support planning, it focuses on the systematic identification of learners' needs and the meticulous planning of individualized education support for every student. Monitoring and collaboration, it employs progress monitoring to guide instruction while emphasizing that collaboration between teachers and parents is essential for success. Okay. Policy application in instruction, inclusive education, and UDL strategies for teachers. So it works hand in hand, inclusive education and the UDL strategies. So instructional access, translating policy into visual supports and simplified instruction. Reading support, providing oral explanation for students with reading difficulties. Task guidance, guiding peer support for complex classroom tasks and projects, and communication, reducing barriers through alternative pointing or drawing methods. So before we go through the principles in UDL, we have to understand first what UDL is. So let us first have this flexibility in assessment and participation. So teacher strategy, shift focus from traditional testing to UDL assigned assessment that accommodate oral questioning and hands-on demonstration. So later, we will walk through this thing. So before we start with the UDL principle, let us first understand UDL. So in UDL, we have designing instruction to be accessible to all learners from the start, addressing learner variability and ability, language, motivation, and learning style, building flexible learning environments rather than making only after the fact modification. So in designing instruction to be accessible to all learners from the start, universal design means planning lessons so that learners can participate without relying solely on later judgment. Instead of asking, how will I modify this lesson later? The teacher asks, how can I design this lesson so more learners can access it from the start. So example, so I have one example throughout my discussion. One of our lesson in SNED non-graded is waste segregation. So ito na po yung ginawa kong example. So a teacher preparing a lesson on waste segregation plans needs real objects, labeled pictures, oral explanation, hands-on sorting activity. Why this is needed? Because this gives learners multiple ways to understand the concept. Mas madali, looking at, isipin po natin, if we will just teach the traditional way or naka ano lang siya, naka PowerPoint presentation, naka instructional materials na Manila paper or cartolina, mas mahirap doon sa estudyante. But if we use real objects, labeled pictures, oral explanation, and hands-on sorting activity, especially that our topic is very real in situation, waste segregation. So, mas madali pong maiintindihan ng mga bata. Especially diverse ang ating mga learners. Hindi na po lahat pen and paper ang learning ng ating mga estudyante nowadays. So, addressing learner variability and ability, language, motivation, and learning style. So, sabi dito, learners differ in reading ability, language proficiency, attention span, confidence, sensory needs, and background knowledge. Universal Designs recognizes learners' variability as normal. So, normal lang pala na magkakaiba how our learners learn. Okay lang yun. So, we teachers, we have to adjust and we have to we have to design a different strategy with different accommodations and modifications of the topic. Yes po. Okay. So example here is in one classroom of 25 learners, 5 may prefer visual learning, 6 may respond better through discussion, 4 may need repeated instruction, 3 may need peer support, and others may learn best through concrete materials. So, a single teaching method may not support all learners. So, variation po. Iba-iba ang ating magiging strategy. For example, in my situation, iba-iba po talaga ang instruction na binibigay ko, especially if the scheduled learners ay umabsent or may pumasok na hindi naka-schedule. So, I have to make an adjustment on my strategy. And then last on how we understand universal learning is building flexible learning environments rather than making only after the fact modifications. So flexible classrooms reduce barriers before difficulties occur. Example, instead of preparing only a written worksheet, a teacher also provides pictures, oral directions, group work, hands-on demonstration because this supports wider participation. O, pag may hands-on demonstration tayo, for example, the topic is waste segregation, if we gumawa tayo ng mga instructional materials natin na that will definitely differentiate or identify biodegradable, non-bio, at meron tayong mga example, real objects of the topic, of non-bio and biodegradable, mas madali, mas engaging siya sa ating learner. They will participate.
Ma'am, excuse me po, I'm sorry to interrupt.
Yes
Parang ang
po.
PowerPoint po po ay hindi nagmo-move.
Yes po. May mga insert ano kasi
Okay
ako.
po. Sige po.
Okay.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay po. Sige po. So, we have to be very careful po. We have to take note of this na instead na the usual worksheets, let us try real objects, pictures, group works that is engaging to the part of the learner. Now, let us come now to UDL principle. We have the first one, multiple means of engagement. So multiple means of engagement, learners differ in what motivates them and how they sustain attention. So we have here fostering autonomy. Motivate learners by providing meaningful choices in activities to foster autonomy and self-determination with the learning environment. So provide choices for the learners because if we provide choices or tasks and activities, it increases motivation and ownership. So mas motivate natin ang ating learners. So example pa rin, learners may choose to sort objects, draw categories or explain orally. So collaborative learning naman po, it implement cooperative work and peer collaboration strategies to build a supportive community and encourage social learning interaction. Because when we connect to learners' interests and experiences, learning becomes more meaningful when connected to daily life or social interactions because social interaction supports learning. Example of this is small group activities encourages discussion, peer modeling, and participation. 'Di ba pag nag-group activity tayo, mas nagwa-widen ang experiences or ang motivation ng mga learners natin. And then we have relevance and effort. Connect lessons to real-life tasks for relevance while ensuring clear goals and frequent feedback to sustain learner effort and persistence. Because learning becomes more meaningful when connected to daily life. So, example, again, we have the topic on waste segregation. Waste segregation can be linked to home chores, school cleanliness, and community practices or very relevant siya. So we will connect our topic on their daily living or daily task. We will ask them, o tumutulong ba kayo sa paglilinis o how you segregate your trash sa bahay and sa school, how you will do this at school. So we can now assign tasks to our learners and in community as well. So we now come to the principle of representation and action. So multiple means of representation, representing information in different formats, multiple means of action and expression, allowing diverse ways to show knowledge, using digital tools to adjust font size and contrast for better accessibility, and offering text-to-speech and visual alternatives to support diverse learning needs. Multiple means of representation, learners understand information differently. We can now present lessons through visuals, demonstration, oral explanation, and concrete materials. Different forms of representation increases comprehension. Siyempre, pag meron tayong different representation, mas nauunawaan, mas kung sa una hindi pa clear, pag nagbigay pa tayo ng other example or representation, mas unti-unti, mas madaming example kung hindi naiintindihan, mas madami tayong ibibigay na example, representation, mas maiintindihan ng bata. Example, instead of only saying plastic is non-biodegradable, the teacher can show a plastic bottle, a picture card, and other example. So, 'di ba, pag using real objects, mas mauunawaan ng ating mga learner. We can also use graphic organizers and vocabulary supports because this supports to organize ideas. O, example ulit, biodegradable and non-biodegradable. Sa biodegradable, example natin, leaves, balat ng mga prutas, and in non-bio naman, let us picture out plastic, bottles, and other objects. So break task into smaller steps. Chunking reduces cognitive load. Example, instead of giving one long instruction, look at the object, identify the material, and place it in a correct container. So, haba-haba ng ating explanation about non-bio and bio. Kinalaunan, mas malilito yung bata. So, why not demonstrate agad natin? This is the bin for non-bio and this is the bin for biodegradable, and then we have examples. Which one of this object is non-bio and which one of this is biodegradable? O, di ba? Mas madali. Andoon na agad. Yung concept natin, nakuha na agad natin. Yung competency, check na agad. And then we have multiple means of action and expression. So learners differ in how they understand or how they demonstrate learning. So allow varied ways of showing understanding. Assessment should not rely on one format only. Example, assessment can be oral response, drawing, sorting activity, demonstration, and written answer. Kasi minsan, for example, pag nagbigay tayo ng assessment, may mga bata na mababa yung nakukuha. It's because hindi pala nila naintindihan, hindi pala nila makuha on a written basis. But if you ask them orally, makakasagot nila. Alam nila yung sagot. So we have to be very considerate po, my dear teachers, on assessment process. Kasi pag nag-solely rely lang tayo sa pen and paper, may mga batang hindi makakahabol. So we have to be flexible because this oral responses, drawing, written work, role play, demonstration, and performance task ay other options to make assessment more inclusive. Especially now, ang grading system, may binago na naman. So maybe we can use this one po. Maybe we can consider this. We can use this. We make options to make assessment more inclusive. To cater yung needs at skills ng ating learners. So, example data, a learner who struggles with writing may correctly explain the answer orally. So, matrabaho lang talaga kung susundin natin ito. In our day-to-day activity, pagbalik pasukan, pag nagsimula ng ating assessment, matrabaho yung ganitong strategy, but this might as well help us, especially our learners, na makahabol, especially yung mga nalileft behind sa lesson kasi hindi po nakakahabol, hindi naiintindihan agad-agad. So maybe let us consider this. Then provide assistive supports when needed. Supports may include visual cues, larger print, peer body, simplified directions, and manipulatives. These supports remove barriers, not lower standards. Visual cues. So ano na ang sunod? First, then, so ito yung visual cues. Larger print. Why larger print? Because may mga we can have or maybe meron tayong mga estudyante na kaya pala hindi nila masyadong naiintindihan because of meron silang visual problem. So mas naiintindihan ko pag nakikita ko yung bagay na mas malaki in print. Peer body. May isa kang estudyante na okay, maganda ang performance inside the classroom. Why not make it pair with doon sa medyo hindi pa nakakahabol sa lesson para at least kasi mahihila din yun eh. Pwede niyang mahila or matulungan yung kanyang classmate. Simplified direction. Pag sinabi nating sort, bio and non-bio, diretso agad. Direct instruction. Manipulatives. Ako po, nabubuhay ang aking classroom sa manipulatives because I cannot directly give uh, instruction, yung pen and paper, looking at my learners po, mga learners with disabilities, with exceptionalities, so more on manipulatives. And we can also use this manipulatives po in mainstream, in regular setting, especially na may mga changes na naman tayo sa mga lessons, maybe it would be helpful. It can help us na mas mapadali ang ating bibigay ng ating lesson. Next po. So, improving lesson plans with UDL. So, how can we improve lesson plans using UDL? So, we have, let me show you po, okay, writing SMART goals for learners. Palagi na natin tong naririnig, si SMART. Kailan kaya? Ayan. SMART goals for learners. We have specific, measurable, achievable, and relevant and timely. So when we say specific, establish clear, focused, and actionable objectives that target specific learning outcomes for the student. Measurable, it define progress by identifying the required level of accuracy and frequency of the observed behavior. Achievable, it ensure goals remain challenging yet realistic, matching the student's current development stage and capacity. And relevant and timely, it addresses the student's unique strengths and needs while including a clear time frame for completion to ensure inclusive progress and accountability. So, let me share with you yung ating bagong guidelines in making lesson plans. So sabi sa lesson plan, ayan, guidelines on lesson planning and learning design. So ito yung bago. Ayan. Ayan. Ito yung bago natin ngayon sa ating trimester, trisem. So sabi dito, lesson planning is repositioned as a practical instruction tool, not a paperwork exercise. Teachers are explicitly trusted to use professional judgment and adapt based on learner needs and evidence. The policy encourages co-created lesson plans, luck-based collaborative planning, and acceptance of shared outputs as valid evidence of preparation. Furthermore, lesson plans shall be used for alignment of goals, activities, assessment, and reflection, and are meant to reduce unnecessary workload. Lesson planning shall be guided by 8 evidence-based learning design principle. This principle describes the ideal experience for learners and the core feature of effective instruction. So dito ibinigay ang 8 learning design principle. We have clear goals and teachings, scaffolding, checks for understanding, active retrieval and spacing, self-awareness and metacognition, social learning, visual values and purpose integration, and inclusion. So, how is this aligned with UDL? So, parang ano na din to connected to UDL. May we ask for a copy? So, we will ask po the management or the admin po if they can provide you po with a copy. So, learning design principle, we will discuss how it is aligned with UDL. Kasi parang UDL, ano na din to leading to UDL. So, clear learning goals. As the start of the lesson, the teacher states, we always do this. By the end of the lesson, learners will identify biodegradable and non-biodegradable materials. UDL emphasizes clarifying learning intention so learners understand the target. Clear goals help learners focus on what they learn rather than only how they will complete the task. 'Di ba? Clear learning goals. Focus on what they need to learn rather than how they will complete the task. Hindi lang task completion, kundi learning. Focus on what they need to learn. Kasi minsan ang goal lang is basta matapos natin to, makomplete natin to, okay na. But how about the learning? Then, active prior knowledge. Before introducing a new topic on waste segregation, so, pardon me po if yun ang kasi I make talaga a topic. May kinuha ako na i-integrate natin in today's discussion. So, before introducing a new topic on waste segregation, the teacher asked learners what materials they throw away at home and where they place them. Bago natin daw sisimulan yung topic, yung lesson natin, o mag-lesson na tayo, children, my dear pupils, ano-anong klase, ano-anong uri ng mga basura ang meron tayo sa ating bahay? O paano ninyo itinatapon, paano ninyo pinaghihiwa-hiwalay ang ating mga basura? So that is the prompt natin on how we will start our lesson. So UDL naman, it supports connecting learning to learners' background, knowledge, and experiences. This strengthens meaning making and accessibility. So mas madali nang maiintindihan if may pauna na tayong knowledge or kinuha na agad natin yung experience ng bata. Kasi later part of our discussion, mas madali na nilang maiintindihan. So this is it pala. So this is the reason why our teacher asked us about the different basura na meron sa bahay and paano namin yung tinatapon. Kasi dapat, ito pala yung dapat. Ganito pala dapat. And then we have the multiple means of representation. So the teacher uses pictures, real objects, oral explanations, short video clips, and demonstration to teach the concept. This directly aligns with the UDL multiple means of representation, which provides different ways of representing information so learners can access content according to their needs and strengths. And active engagement naman, learners sort actual classroom materials into labeled bins, work in pairs, and discuss their choices. So that is our example in teaching. How it is aligned with UDL. UDL promotes multiple means of engagement by encouraging participation, collaboration, choice, and meaningful activity. activities, scaffolding, and guided support. So, ang scaffolding naman, example in teaching, the teacher first models how to sort waste, provides prompts and picture cues, then gradually allows learners to work independently. So, magmo-model muna si teacher kung paano to ginagawa. Yes po. UDL is being responsive to the multiple intelligence of our students, of our learners. Yes, very true. So UDL promotes or encourages structured support, guided practice, and gradual release so learners can develop independence. So dahil learner-centered na tayo ngayon, hayaan natin ang ating estudyante to explore beyond with the lesson, but of course with our support, with our guide. Timely feedback. So meron dyan sinabi timely feedback. So time feedback is during the activity the teacher immediately says this bottle belongs in recyclable materials because it can be processed again. So ayan na. Yun ang example natin in teaching pag may timely feedback. So UDL naman supports frequent constructive feedback that helps learner monitor progress, correct error, and build confidence. Kasi this bottle belongs in recyclable materials because it can be processed again. So, not all our learners alam that bottle can be, processed again. So, ang iba, itinatapon lang yan without knowing na pwede pala itong i-proseso ulit, i-recycle ulit. So, UDL will help us to have a constructive feedbacking or i-correct natin yung error. Then, opportunities for practice and retrieval. Example in teaching is learners repeat sorting tasks across several lessons. Answer recall questions and identify waste items in different settings. So, itong example natin ngayon, hindi lang siya applicable for example sa science subject. So, we can have this also sa values education or sa GMRC. In my situation naman po, this is one of the life skills na dapat matutunan ng mga learners ko, how to separate or how to segregate waste. So iba-iba, hindi lang siya limited. This is so across, ito na yung sinasabing across curriculum. So pwede natin siyang i-integrate sa other subject matter. The UDL values repeated opportunities for practice and varied context, so learners strengthen retention and transfer learning to real-life situation. O kahit yan paulit-ulit, but it strengthen their retention and na-transfer into a real-life situation. So, if we practice this thing, na halimbawa itong lesson on waste segregation, pag inulit natin siya sa ibang subject area natin, napahapyawan pa rin natin nila. This will be their araw-araw ng magiging gawain. So hindi na nila to makakalimutan. Every time na makakita sila ng basura, they know how to segregate it. So last is the assessment. Assessment aligned with objectives. Instead of only a written quiz, learners demonstrate understanding by sorting. So, di ba meron naman tayong, sabi nga kanina, di ba, different, if we consider options sa assessment, more inclusive siya. And pag hindi lang tayo gumamit ng pen and paper, siguro kailangan natin gumamit na lang tayo ng rubrics on how we will rate or how we will give scores to our learners. Kasi ito talagang learner ko na hindi niya kaya na mag pen and paper pen and paper assessment. So ano kaya ang mainam na gawin ko sa kanya? Kasi babagsak siya pag hindi siya nakasagot. So siguro yun na, we have to consider using other options of assessment. So this aligns with UDL multiple means of action and expression, allowing learners to different ways to demonstrate what they know. So, hindi ko kaya sa pen and paper. Ito ang alam ko. Kaya kong mag-demonstrate. I can explain this orally. So, this is it. Ito ang learning ko. So, so, okay po. So, i-walk through natin yung bagong lesson template. Makikita natin dito yan sa part na, sige pa po. Dito sa, sabi dito, ilalagay na natin, the new lesson plan template supports better learning design by articulating clear intention. So, di ba palagi sa paggawa natin ng ating learning objectives, nandoon si cognitive, yung tatlo na linalagay natin. So, yun pa rin because yun na, curricular targets, clear expectation, and learner's context. So, ito po yun. Sige po. I-walk through natin yung bagong ayan. So, siguro naman nabigay na din to sa atin siguro sa ating mga schools. Ayan. Wala naman, may mga additional ano lang naman sila. Pero for me, the lesson plan is more more comprehensive unlike before. So, okay na. Siguro we will na lang po. Maybe we can send you po a soft copy of this. Okay po, next na po tayo yan. Thank you. So if you have questions po, you can ask po while we are Okay. Let us now come to the evidence-based classroom practices. So in evidence classroom practices, we have explicit instructions, scaffolding, differentiated assessment, positive behavior support, and collaborative learning. So, in explicit instruction, teach skills clearly and directly. Model the task, guide practice, then allow independent application. While scaffolding, provide temporary support such as prompts, cues, sentence starters, or peer assistance until learners can perform independently. Differentiated assessment, assess learning using varied methods instead of relying only on written tests. Positive behavior supports establish routines, clear expectation, and reinforcement to encourage participation and appropriate behavior, while collaborative learning use peer support, group tasks, and cooperative activities to build social interaction and shared learning. So these evidence-based learning design principles are highly beneficial to teachers handling regular or mainstream classes because learners in every classroom differ in readiness, interest, learning pace, language background, and preferred ways of understanding lessons. Applying these principles helps teachers plan instruction that is more organized, inclusive, and responsive to learner diversity. So it improves lesson clarity and focus. Clear learning goals help teachers organize lessons around essential outcomes. Learners understand what is expected, which reduces confusion and keeps instruction purposeful. It helps connect learners' experiences. So activating prior knowledge allows teachers to build on what they already know. This makes new concepts easier to understand and more meaningful. So evidence-based classroom practices supports diverse learning needs in one classroom. Using multiple ways of presenting information such as visuals, demonstrations, discussion, and hands-on activities helps learners who process information differently. So this reflects the universal design for learning. So what else? So evidence-based learning increases learner participation and motivation. Active engagement encourages learners to take part in discussions, collaborative tasks, and practical activities. When learners participate actively, attention and motivation often improve. It also makes difficult tasks manageable. So scaffolding helps teachers break lessons into smaller steps. This allow learners who need extra support to keep pace while still changing those who are ready to move forward. It provides immediate information for instruction because timely feedback helps teachers identify the misconceptions early. Teachers can adjust instruction before misunderstanding become larger learning gaps. And then we have strengthens retention and application. Repeated practice and retrieval opportunities helps learners remember concepts and apply them in new situations, not only during tests. And last, it promotes fair assessment. When assessments are aligned with objectives and offered varied ways to demonstrate learning, teachers gain a more accurate picture of learning misunderstanding or learner understanding. So overall, for a mainstream classroom, these principles help teachers manage learner diversity more effectively, improve participation, reduce barriers to learning, and create a classroom where more learners can succeed. And in practice, these principles are especially helpful in SNED and non-graded classes because they reduce barriers to learnings, increase participation, and make instruction more responsive to learners' varied strengths, needs, and readiness level. Next po. So, what is the importance of inclusive education? Anyway, any question po regarding evidence-based classroom practices? Okay. So, importance of inclusive, thank you. So, importance of inclusive education. Using evidence-based universal design, it increases participation, reduces barriers to learning, supports diverse abilities and needs, it promotes equity and inclusion, improves academic and functional outcomes. And next. Ayan. Ito, another example in classroom practice. Again, we have here the lesson on waste segregation. So first is the teacher uses real objects, pictures, and demonstration. Next, learners sort materials into labeled bins. Learners explain answers orally through drawing or by actual demonstration. And the last is peer support and guided prompts are provided for learners who need additional assistance. So, um, very clear naman po, no? Parang ang dali lang pag ganito ng classroom practice on a specific lesson. Parang mas kasi I already aligned this example doon sa bagong guidelines in lesson planning. So na-target natin yung competency on this particular example. So next po. So ayan, parang malapit na tayong matapos. So why I included also the roles of stakeholders in IEP implementation because UDL is connected sa paggawa ng IEP. Connected siya since si UDL is uh, focus on the diverse needs ng ating mga learners. Kailangan na may gumagawa po ba sa atin dito ng IEP? Or we are all new to IEP? Kasi matrabaho ang IEP. Looking at yesterday, may mga nabasa akong comment na yung iba first time to encounter IEP. Yes po. Yung iba, yes, very crucial part, especially kung ang dami mong estudyante na gagawa ng IEP. In my case, I have 18 learners sa 18, I have 15 with medical diagnosis. So kailangan if possible, yung 15 na yon kailangan gawan ko yon ng IEP, especially that they have medical diagnosis. So medyo matrabaho siya. It's a long process ang IEP, but nonetheless kahit siya ay thank you po. Kahit siya matrabaho, but this will give you a way kung paano mo talaga mabibigay yung lesson or yung needs ng iyong estudyante. So, teachers and parent roles. So, the teacher implements classroom accommodations and monitor progress daily. Parents provide essential background information and support vital homeschool links for student success. The specialists, the admin, and the learners offer therapeutic insights while administrator ensures resources. Learners participate in goal setting to foster agency and personal accountability in their education. So again po pala, isabay ko na din po since I really advocate special needs education, and this can be done din po in a regular basis, yung tagging po sa LIS. So if we have learners with disabilities with medical diagnosis na nasa mainstream po, we can tag them. Hanapin lang po sa LIS kung ano yung types of disability na meron po yung bata. And if there is a manifestation, we can also tag those learners with manifestations. But provided that this has been consulted with the parents, alam din po ng school head that you will tag those learners. Because baka magkaroon tayo ng problema sa tagging. Because pag hindi alam ng parents na tinag natin, maaaring mag-cause yun ng problema with the school administration. And sa tagging, may pera. Pag may pera, pag may fund, makaka-provide tayo. We can those tag learners na wala pang medical diagnosis ay pwede nating ipa-assess. And the rest of the fund, we can buy manipulatives. We can buy instructional materials for our learners na may diverse needs, na may mga pangangailangan. So, yan na. Ayan, ang bilis pala natin, ang bilis ng facing natin. So, let us reflect on these questions. What barriers to learning do our learners commonly experience? Another is which UDL practices are already visible in our classroom? How can we align classroom instruction with inclusive education policies? And how can collaborative planning strengthen IEP implementation? So, you can now ask questions if you have questions, clarifications. So maybe naririnig niyo po ang background music. Pasensya na po. Ang aking kapitbahay ay may pasayaw. So do you have any question po, or let us reflect first on these questions, and can I ask somebody po who can share their answers or their takeaways?
We now encourage our participants to share your insights regarding these reflection questions. You may choose from the reflection questions po. You may turn on your microphone kung gusto nyo pong mag-share po sa ating platform. Thank you so much. Pwede rin po kayong mag-chat po sa ating chat box para po basahin na lang po natin if you don't want to use your microphone. But for those who would like to share their personal thoughts regarding these reflection questions, pwede po kayong mag-on ng microphone. Anyone po from the participants? Ayan. So, ma'am, meron po tayong insight from the chat box from Ma'am Ana. I feel that some UDL practices are already being done in our classrooms. Consistency lang talaga. Like you mentioned, matrabaho ito but necessary and worth it means no child will be left behind.
Yes, consistency lang talaga. Saka siguro, lahat naman siguro tayo dito mag-a-agree na siguro bawasan talaga tayo ng ibang task as teachers. Matatrabaho natin to. Kung purely nasa classroom, lang talaga tayo, classroom work. Walang ibang ibinibigay sa atin. Agree ba tayo? Agree ba tayo dyan? Yes, 100% talaga. Paano naman kasi, 'di ba? Paano natin 'to minsan matatrabaho imbis na magle-lesson tayo? So, practical na 'to. Practically speaking na 'to ha. Lahat naman po tayo dito ay ah, nasa department, nasa iisang department, pero ang hirap kasing pagsabayin ng admin task sa task ng teacher sa loob ng classroom. Pag ibinigay sa atin, ako, I can attest to that because na, especially ako, sabi ko, kung pwede, walang mangi-istorbo in between, in between may lesson, kasi pag nawala sa momentum yung estudyante ko, ang hirap na naman kunin ng attention. So, kaya kami, even strict for SNED kasi, kung pwede, nakalock talaga. So, nakalock talaga ang aming door. Kasi pag nawala sa momentum, wala na. Hirap na tayo. Pag biglang, ma'am, excuse me, may online, ganito, ganyan. Wala na. So, kailangan lang tayong talaga. Oh, yes. So, LIS management pa lang yes. Sana may LS din sa private schools. I had a preschool student na may ganyan, grabe multitask, teaching at the same time, paano i-manage yung student na meron attention disabilities to other students. Yes, it's very challenging. But ako po, let me share with you, galing din po ako ng regular. I was handling grade 4 before. When opportunity for SNED opens, grinab ko yung opportunity. Siguro it's because of the heart I have for SNED. That's why I choose, others ask me, bakit daw ako pumayag na mag-SNED na mas mahirap. As for me, if I will be asked po, mas madali po sa akin to handle SNED compared to regular. Fixed setting or loud classroom that distracts students with sensory sensitivities. Yes. Very true po. I think a strong support system would make a huge difference in implementing these changes. Apart from the funds that we all deserve, a strong collaboration among stakeholders would ensure we teachers will reach our goals as we planned para rin sa mas marami tayong matulungan. Yes, very true po. 100%. 101%. Large class size po sa akin, medyo nahihirapan ako magpa-group activity na kasi napakarami nila. Tapos kailangan maraming groups talaga sa movie. Yes. How large it is, ma'am? 40? Class of 40 po ba? Or 30? Is flooding po during rainy seasons. Yes. More than 40? Oh, ang dami, ma'am. More than 40. Ang hirap na po talaga nito. Especially kung, nako, diverse, ang dami ng kailangan i-consider. Maybe this 40, katulad ng example natin dito, yung iba prefer visual learning, respond to best through discussion, kailangan may repeated instruction. Yes. Actually, nafe-feel ko yan. Minsan, umaabot ako sa time na nakakapagod. Nakakapagod kasi, tao lang naman tayo. Especially pag may nag-throw ng episodes of tantrums. Naku, bugbog din ng katawan ko minsan. But, worth it pag hapon na, yun na. Kasi, SNED learners or learners with disabilities po, they are the sweetest learners. Ayan, kahit minsan bago pagpasok pa lang may bugbugan na kayo, pag-uwi naman, nakakabawi pag bigla kang ginakap, biglang nag-I love you teacher sa'yo yung estudyante mo. Yes. Meron talaga, actually gate pa lang may toyo na. Gate pa lang, nakita pa lang ang pintuan ng classroom ay inatake na agad. Yes po. Na-experience ko na yan lahat, ma'am. Sa bunot, kurot, at kagat. Yung kagat na ilang linggo ang paang ang tama. Yes. Aligning classroom instruction with inclusive education policies, making sure teaching practices support all learners, including those with diverse abilities, backgrounds, and learning needs, in line with DepEd and inclusive education principle. Yes po. Yes, it's a sacrifice talaga. And we have to do it with our we do it wholeheartedly. So, do you have any questions pa po regarding our discussion? Any clarification? I hope I have shared with you things or knowledge na madadala po natin on the opening of classes. Sige po. So we will ask po the management if they can send you po copy of the presentation and yung guidelines on the lesson planning. Sir Jerome, ay na po yata.
So, thank you so much po, Ma'am Virginia Nierva, for that very insightful discussion regarding universal design. So, before po, there is a question addressed to me. Siguro hindi ko po napansin. Okay, so from Ma'am Anna Marian regarding po sa future training on SNED strategies as per the demand of our participants, and also as I consulted po our director, we are going to have training on this regarding SNED strategies, and this is really relevant po because sabi nga natin, our education has already embraced inclusive ed. So we will just be uploading promotion regarding this training. So thank you so much po, ma'am, for your interest regarding this future training. And for those who are also interested, please again follow our official Facebook page. Doon po namin i-upload ang details regarding this one. So once again, maraming salamat po sa ating napakagaling na speaker. Very concise discussion, but all that we need to know about universal design has already been discussed by Ma'am Virginia Nierva. So this time, we are now going to award our virtual certificate to our speaker. So let me read to you the citation. Apotham Learning Center, Professional Development for Teachers, Certificate of Recognition. This is a certify that Maria Virginia P. Nierva, Special Needs Education Teacher, Santa Cruz Elementary School, SD Ocamsur, served as resource speaker in the training program upskilling teachers on inclusive pedagogy, a national webinar on advancing equity in the K-12 classroom, held via Zoom on May 8 to 10, 2026, with 24 training hours recognized for continuous professional development under the pedagogy and curriculum domains. This program has been approved by the Council for Professional Teachers of the Professional Regulation Commission, PRC, accredited under number PTR-2025- 735-12614 and awarded 9 CPD units. Signed, the Executive Director of Apotham Learning Center, Sir J.R.H. Luminides. So once again, palakpakan po natin si Ma'am Maria Virginia P. Nierva for her very successful discussion about universal design for learning. Maraming salamat po. I think our participants will now be accomplishing their output for the third session, and it will be, ma'am, do we have output to be accomplished by our participants?
Thank you very much po. Thank you very much, everyone.
Okay. Regarding po sa PowerPoint ni Ma'am Marge, it will be uploaded po doon sa folder, so you may freely access it. Pwede niyo po siyang ma-download, and you may, para po meron kayong resources regarding our training for this morning. And then yung activity po, the same with the activity, naka-upload na rin po siya. So please do, yes po. So lahat po ng related sa kanyang discussion today will be uploaded in the folders on the onboarding manual. So please just look at those learning resources doon po sa ating folders. You may freely access it po. Do you still have questions po before we end this morning session? And again, do not forget to fill in the assessment link for Ma'am Marge. Nandun rin po yan once again sa ating onboarding manual. Please do not forget to evaluate po yung ating mga resource person kasi po these are very needed for our training, and at the same time, of course, this is also a feedback for our speakers in their future speaking engagements. Excuse me. So do you still have questions po? Meron pa po ba tayong tanong? Do we still have questions po?
Hi, Paul. Good morning. Can you hear me?
Yes po.
Hi. This is not about the talk that just finished, but rather about the last activity yesterday. I forgot her name. I'm so sorry, but our speaker last in the afternoon she mentioned something about a post test, but I wasn't able to see it. So, where can we find the post test? Thank you.
Okay po. Okay po, regarding the post test, um, yung sa kahapon po ba yun, ma'am?
Yes, yung last po.
Okay po.